Okay, so in this video we're going to do 101, 102, 103, so it might be a little long, just a heads up. Okay, so for the first one, while solving x minus 5, x plus 2 equals negative 6, Kyle decides that x must equal 5 or 2. And that's not true, because number one, this is not equal to 0. So you have a problem, okay? This needs to be equal to 0, otherwise you cannot say x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0, because obviously it's not equal to 0. And number one, and then the second thing is, it can't even be equal to negative 6. That's not going to work out. You can't do that. That's not the zero product property, because it's called a zero product property, because this has to be a 0 before you do anything else. So we have to actually rewrite this whole equation in order to get it to be equal to 0, and then actually solving it. So I'm going to do that right over here. So I'm going to transfer this over. X minus 5 times x plus 2 equals to negative 6. All right. So this right here is nothing but multiplying these things out. So we should get x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 equals negative 6. Right? I'm just going to do a box for those two right there. And then we have x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals negative 6. Well, I'm almost close now. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. That way I can get the 0 here. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so now I'm going to try to see if we can factor this. Okay, so is this factorable is the question. So we have an x squared, we have a minus 4, so that's negative 4x squared. Can I think of two numbers that multiply out to negative 4 but add it together give you negative 3? Oh yeah, negative 4x and negative 1x. Oh, or positive 1x. Negative 4, yep, this comes out to negative 4x squared also. Okay, so then my products are going to be x minus 4, x and 1, so x minus 4, x plus 1 equals 0, so x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, so x equals 4, and x equals negative 1. Okay, done. All right, so that's the end of that. And no, the solutions did not match Kyle's. We have 4 and negative 1, if we did this correctly, and I think we did, as far as I know. Yep, that works out. And Kyle got 5 and negative 2, so obviously that is not correct. 5 and negative 2 is wrong. 4 and negative 1 is correct. Okay, 102. Write an equation for each representation of the quadratic functions below. I'm not going to do both of these. You should be able to... Okay, first of all, let's just make sure you identify the right things. So we have the two x-intercepts, x-intercept, x-intercept, and the y-intercept. Okay, so that's part B. Part C, I'm sorry, not part C, part A, your x-intercept is at negative 3 and at positive 1. And then you have 1, 2, and then you have a y-intercept at negative 3 down here. So this one gives you negative 3, so x equals negative 3, x equals positive 1, and you have a y-intercept at 0 and negative 3. So you should be able to be comfortable enough making sure that you have an equation for those. So look in your notes. You should be able to make the equation. And then please make sure that when you have your equation in standard form, negative 3 is actually the y-intercept. And if it's not, what do you need to multiply the whole equation by? And then the same thing here. Make sure that negative 4 is actually your y-intercept. And if it's not, what do you need to multiply your equation by? Okay. Which function has the largest maximum value? I don't know what that means. That one's going to be... I don't know. Well, I guess it's asking for the vertex of both. So the vertex for this one is going to be at negative 1 and, I don't know, it looks like 4 down here. And then what is the vertex for this one here? You could probably have to graph that one to figure it out. Okay. Next part, 103. Okay. An international charity builds home for disaster victims of the materials that are donated. Charity recently built 45 homes. 20% of the homes have granite for countertops, while the rest have porcelain tile. 15 of the homes have red oak. 20 have white oak. 10 have maple. If a disaster victim is randomly assigned to a home, what is the probability % of getting a home with an oak floor and a granite countertops? Oh, we'll just do an area model for this. That works out. We're just gonna have to triple up on the other sides. Okay, so 20% of the homes have granite. Okay, for the kitchen countertops. So countertops. So 20% have granite, and then while the rest have porcelain tile. So that means what? 80% have tile for the countertops. And then I need a different color. Let's do red. And then 15 of the homes have, so there's 45 total homes, right? So 15 out of 45 have red oak. 20 have white oak. So 20 out of 45 have white oak. And then 10 of them out of 45 have maple. Okay, so what is that? What in the world is 15 out of 45? I have no clue. 33%. 33.3%. I don't want to convert that into a decimal. That's ugly. Okay, so 33.3%. I really wish I wouldn't do that, but that's okay. And this is 44.4%. And this is white oak, red oak, white oak, and maple is 10 out of 45. And that's 22.2%. Okay, 33.3 plus 44.4 plus 22.2 gives you 99.9% of most of your stuff. Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, so you're looking for one. What is the probability in % of getting a home with an oak floor? So white oak? Oh no, just any oak floor. So it could be red oak or white oak, and a granite countertop. Okay, so I guess we're looking for these two boxes. So red oak, white oak, and then granite countertops. So what is the probability of those two right there? Add them up. Okay, you have to multiply them and then add them up. Okay, and that's it for this video.